before me and Summer came on vacation. I've always told her, you know, Alex is my type. What is the history behind y'all? And she said, it's cool, nothing to worry about. They just hung out. Hanging out and having sex is two different things.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl, the Brooke Ashley, and today we are here to discuss Summer House Martha's Vineyard, Season 2, Episode 2. And before we get started, this was another cute episode. Guys, please watch the show. It's a great show. It's fun. It's light, especially after RHOP. It's a breath of fresh air. But let's get those ratings up. I saw that the ratings for the premiere episode last week weren't that great, and we don't want Bravo to cancel a black show. So let's please get the numbers up. Let's please tune in after RHOP goes off and get into Summer House. But y'all, let me just say this. Summer, I can already tell that it's about to be a rough season for you. And you're not making yourself look likable in the least bit. Trying to act so blasé like you don't care about Alex when you are visibly pressed. Baby, you don't have to lie to us because your actions give you away. And Miss Shanice, I have a few choice words for you because while you're talking about, oh, I have a roster of men on my phone and I'm sending each one nudes, it's a bit pathetic and desperate when you can't call any of these men up for some money to buy a Zara blouse, but yet you're bragging about this roster. Throw the whole roster away, sis, and let's start from scratch. But y'all, let me not jump ahead. Let's just jump right on into it because you guys already know that we don't have a minute to spare. So we open up this episode with the yacht party being over. They're back in the cars and they're headed back to the house. So we see Nick, Amir, Jasmine, Jordan, and I think Bria in one car. And they're all talking, having some fun, being silly. Jordan says that she's happy that her and Jasmine talked out all their issues and they came to a resolution where they agree to disagree about what really happened. Now, Jordan, I have to call BS on that because from what I saw in the last episode, it was only Jasmine pouring out her soul about how she felt. You were just sitting there looking at her like you didn't want to be there. You even said, I'm not trying to have a Dr. Phil moment on this yacht. I'm trying to have fun. And Jasmine even commented that you seemed guarded in the conversation. You weren't sharing any of your feelings. It was all her. You coming up with that line about, oh, well, I felt a bit freaked out about you and you've changed. It wasn't like you were the same person anymore. Again, girl, you're reaching. I think that there's some jealousy in the midst that Jasmine got this whole group together and that she's the connector and how she was the one who was picked by Bravo to assemble a group of friends together for this show to come to pass. So I think that there's some jealousy there, but I'm not buying this whole thing about, oh, well, Jasmine has changed and she's not the same. That's life. We're all supposed to be changing and evolving. You shouldn't want to be the same person that you were 5 years ago or even a year ago. You should always be striving to get better. So I'm just calling BS on this whole thing. I don't think that Jasmine did anything wrong. But I say all that to say I am happy that Jasmine and Jordan do seem to be on the same page for right now. We're going to see how it plays out later on because like I told you guys, I came through with the tea that present day things are still a bit wobbly between the both of them. So we shall see what goes on for the remainder of this season. So now we jump to the next car where we see Preston, Noel, Alex, and Shanice. You have Shanice going on about how she's upset that before she came on this vacation, she didn't get any dick. So she's like, I just love sex so much. It's just so great. When's the last time any of y'all got any? So Noel's like, oh, I think it was March. Alex says it was 4 weeks ago. Then he goes on to say that he's grown and he doesn't think like that. Now, Alex, you already have admitted that you are an F-boy. We're not buying this holier-than-thou act, so stop. Now, I'm nobody's prude. I enjoy a cute girl talk, a cute sex talk, but there's a time and a place, and Shanice, for you to blurt that out randomly, it just feels like Shanice is desperate for attention. And all throughout this episode, it just gives thirsty. Like, you just always have to do something to garner attention, and it's embarrassing. And from what we see later on, it seems like all these men you're always talking about, all they have to offer you is dick and bubblegum because you're crying about money. So I'm like, girl, make sure that you get some men on your line who can give you some money and take you out on nice dates. You know what I'm saying? Because it's just not adding up. The math ain't mathing. So everybody's back at the house. They're just lounging around. We see Summer and Bria on the hammock outside, and they're talking about Simon and Bria's relationship. Bria says that Simon's going to be coming and joining them in the house, I think, next week. And then she goes on to say that her and Simon are in a great place. And we even find out that Bria actually lived in Germany for a whole year. Now, I like Simon and Bria together. I think that they make a cute couple. I met Simon at the premiere party for the first season. He was very sweet. But now we see Summer mentioning that she thinks that Jasmine is pregnant. She was like, you know, Jasmine always had boobs, but I was looking at her boobs now and they look swollen. They're definitely pregnant boobs. And I just said, I guess the cat's out the bag. And we know that Jasmine recently had her baby. She had a baby boy 2 months ago. Congratulations, Jasmine. But I guess, Jasmine, you weren't hiding it that well. Between you being a mocktail mommy and, you know, they're kind of noticing about the boobs. I say, yeah, girl, you're about to make that announcement soon. And the timeline tracks, because if she just had her baby in January, then that means that she was probably, what, 3 or 4 months already when they were filming? Because they filmed this in August. So she must have been, yeah, I guess 3 or 4 months already. The short conversation between Amir, Alex, and Nick was funny. They're all asking Alex about what was the conversation like on the boat with Summer. Are you guys on the same page? Alex was like, I mean, I think so. I hope so. We definitely realize that we both have different expectations. Amir was like, yeah, I understand. She feels like because you guys had sex that you should treat her like she's special. And you're like, no. So Alex is like, exactly, that's what it is. And Amir says, yeah, women always get upset when they're in love. And like I've been saying, Summer, you caught feelings for Alex. And you're not hiding it. You can say all you want, oh, I don't like him, it was just sex. But girl, you caught feelings. Because you would not have been that pressed about him not inviting you to that party if you did not care about him. And I mean, that's cool and all, but just say what it is. Don't sit up here and lie, because we can all see it. We're not dumb. And it's no shade or judgment whatsoever. But another reason why I feel like if you know that you are not equipped to handle casual sex, then maybe just sit it out. Just my thoughts, right? Like, do what you want to do, because I'm here for all of it. But if you know that you're just not that type of girl and you do catch feelings quickly, I would suggest maybe pumping the brakes and just slowing down. But that sounds too much like right for people, so I'm gonna just keep quiet. But Summer, casual sex might not be in your wheelhouse, because the way you're acting over Alex is a telltale sign that you caught feelings. Nick wasn't trying to hear any of that. He was like, okay, but can you still rebeat? And they were like, are you serious, Nick? Nick was like, yeah, I'm serious. Is that still on the table? Can you still hit it if you want to? When Alex said that he realized they weren't on the same page, when he found out that she was taking pictures of him and sending them to Jordan, Summer, you mess up your chances being creepy like that. Why would you do that? And you know that Jordan is messy and she's going to spread your business, so why would you do that? Another reason why I say move in silence, especially with your love life. Because the minute you start talking to your friends, oh my gosh, girl, I'm with him and we're doing X, Y, and Z. Next thing you know, the guy's gone ghost. He doesn't like you anymore. And now you're sitting up there feeling silly because you told everybody. Just keep things quiet until it's official, until you know exactly where you stand. But when you talk about things prematurely, they always go south. Again, that's with love. If you're looking for a new job, just keep your mouth shut. You will never go wrong if you move in silence. Move in silence in all things. Don't talk about anything until it is done. Again, just my advice. It hasn't failed me yet. So they all gather around in the living room and they have their decades party. We see Preston representing for the 90s. We see Noel and Summer. They're dressed as 70s flower children. Jasmine is a 50s housewife. Now, the shade that they threw for Jasmine, Amir was like, I thought the whole point of this party was to dress as somebody that you're not. I just said, damn. But Jasmine, you low-key were trying to act like a 50s housewife last summer when you were sitting up there getting up early to make his breakfast and make sure that the bacon was cooked perfectly. It was giving a bit of that. Now, Nick dressed up as Arthur Ashe. We all know who Arthur Ashe is. And when I found out that nobody knew who Arthur Ashe was, when Bria had to Google him, I said, are you serious? The way y'all were screaming out Black excellence every 5 seconds last season, I knew for sure that y'all knew who Arthur Ashe was. I was like, that's a slap in the face. I did think it was funny how Bria pointed out that Nick and Arthur Ashe do favor. I was like, yeah, they do look alike. Bria is dressed up as Jenny from the block. She's a 2000s girl. We find out that she was actually in a girl group and she wanted to be a rapper back in high school, but it didn't pan out. So Shanice gets up and Shanice is not in costume. She's wearing what she's usually wearing, which is always a swimsuit or some shorts and a crop top. They were all like, Shanice, are you even in costume? Like, what is this? She doesn't even know what she is. They're like, this is very basic. You didn't think to ask somebody if you could borrow some of their clothes so that you could also be in costume? It's clear that Shanice is very ditzy because Bria jokes around and calls her a working girl. She's like, what does that mean? Like, what is that? And they're like, girl, that means lady of the night. So Preston wins the costume party and now the party's over. So you have Shanice wanting them to take some shots. She's like, you guys are so boring. It's time for shots. And one thing about it, Shanice is always going to pull up her shirt and flash her breasts. And again, I'm not a prude. Nudity does not bother me. But I just feel like when it comes to Shanice, Shanice just has to be center of attention. And I also feel like she gets off on a lot of male validation too. But anyhow, she's in the kitchen trying to pour up some shots. And they're still in the living room. And Amir reads a question that asks, who is the worst dresser in this group? Summer immediately says Shanice is the worst dresser. Now, while I agree, I will say that I don't feel like anybody except for Noel is really giving us the fashions. Yes, Nick gives us Brooks Brothers catalog. I mean, he dresses nicely, but I haven't been so blown away by anybody's fashions on this cast. So I think it's funny that Summer is just throwing her friend under the bus. And even Noelle caught that. She said, now, that's shady boots because why would you just blurt your friend out? I thought you guys were really close. But Shanice comes back to join them, and now she finds out what was said about her, and she is pissed. She's like, really? I'm the worst dresser? It's because I'm the realest and all y'all wear fake stuff. So Preston cops to the fact that he does wear fake stuff, and then Summer says, yeah, me too. Preston makes a joke saying, well, even though it's fake, it looks nice. And he says, yeah, my Gucci only has one C in it. And they're all laughing. I just said, child, me personally, if I can't have the real thing, I would rather not have it. That's just me. If you see it on me, it is real. Okay? I went to the store. I went to Neiman Marcus or Saks or Bergdorf's, and it is real. And I have the receipts as proof.
Bling, bling, bling. Bitches is mad.
But I said, yeah, child, y'all sitting up here clowning Shanice, but meanwhile, half of y'all are wearing fake stuff. So I wouldn't laugh too hard. Shanice storms off. She's sobbing. She locks herself in the bathroom. Bria goes up to check on her. And we find out from Shanice that Shanice does not have the money to buy new clothes. Then Shanice adds that she had been transferred from her job. She had moved to Tampa from Phoenix, and her job had let her go. So she says that it's been a struggle, and she's really upset because Summer knew this, so why would Summer even say that? And I said, because Summer is not your friend. Summer is two-faced, and she's messy and shady. That's why she did that. She did that to embarrass you. And Shanice, I wouldn't feel too bad because, one, Summer's not blowing us away by her fashions either. And she even admitted downstairs with Preston that she wears fake stuff. So again, girl, I would not even pay her any mind. Now, I will say that I wish Bravo would give their up-and-coming Bravo celebrities a cash advance and give them some money for their wardrobe when they get on these shows so that they can look nice. Because that has to suck to be on national TV and then you're broke. And you can't look the way you want to look because you don't have any money. So I did feel for Shanice because I know that has to be hard. And then you have folks clowning you in the group, even though they're not really killing it either, but it still has to suck to be clowned like that on national TV. So Bria talks Shanice off the ledge. She's like, girl, it's okay. Everything is fine. Just come back downstairs and join us. Shanice comes back down, and then you have Summer like, oh my gosh, baby, how are you? Like, are you okay? Like, it's all right. And I said, girl, you embarrassed your friend. You threw her under the bus around the group, and now you want to act like you can't understand why she's upset? And you knew beforehand about her money situation. So that was really messed up of you to do that. And now you want to act like, oh girl, are you all right? Like, I'm so sorry, honey. Like, it was just a joke. Girl, stop. So Shanice is in better spirits. They all start dancing. The ladies are twerking. And mind you, since Amir has a girlfriend now, he is not looking at anybody. He is just sitting there looking straight ahead. And then at one point, he texts his girlfriend. And it was the most random text because it's 10 p.m. and you're texting your girlfriend, hey, what should I make for breakfast tomorrow? His girlfriend texts him back like, this text feels really strange. It feels like you meant to say this to somebody else. So now he leaves to go downstairs and he calls her up and he's like, hey, are you good? It seems like you were accusing me of something. And his girlfriend's like, no, I just thought that the text was strange. He goes on to say that the girls are dancing and he's not trying to be around that. He wants to be respectful. And I'm like, Amir, if it's going to be like this, then maybe you don't need to be on the show. Because I'm sorry, but it's not really good TV to hear about how your girlfriend is jealous, how she'll cut your balls off if you even slip up, if you even look at somebody else. I don't want to hear that. I want everybody to have fun and just, be mingling and flirting with everybody. Like, give us a sexy show where everybody, for the most part, is single. It just changes the dynamics when you have a lot of people who are coupled off. I think that maybe for next season, maybe swap out Amir for another guy who is eligible and single. So now it's the next morning. Everybody's getting ready for the day. We see Noel and Nick playing chess. And Shanice and Amir, and I think it was Alex, they were all in the kitchen. And Shanice is like, I was up till 3 a.m. sending nudes to all my guys. Like, I have a full roster. And I said, honey, the way you were just crying 10 hours ago about having no money to buy clothes, I would not be talking about sending nudes to anybody.
No.
You have a whole roster of men, according to you, but you can't seem to call them up for any assistance. Does that make any sense? Shanice, you're not 19, 20. You are a grown-ass woman. You're like, what, 29, 30, 31? You should know better. It's giving goofy, Shanice. I need you to wake it up. Now, the moment with Jordan when she's in her room and she's on FaceTime with her dad, I like this side of Jordan. I think that it's nice to see her vulnerable and just letting down her guards and sharing more, because the mean girl vibes aren't it. But we find out from Jordan that she just signed a deal with a hair company. They do wigs, extensions, weaves, and she's going to be joining them from an educational standpoint. We find out that Jordan has alopecia, and that 4 or 5 years ago, she had done a shoot, they had made her get a relaxer, and her hair fell out. So she goes on to add that currently she's in the middle of a flare-up, and that's why she's been wearing wigs. When I tell you guys, I was shocked. I had no idea that Jordan suffered from alopecia. I was like, wow. And I really want to say hats off to Jordan for being vulnerable and for sharing that. I think that that's going to be a fabulous partnership. And Jordan, you're going to help so many women, especially Black women. I think that it's important to share these stories. Also, the fact that hair is a huge deal with women, especially with Black women. So I think that you should be proud of yourself for sharing your story and also knowing that you're about to help and empower so many people. So again, Jordan, hats off to you. I'm happy to hear this, and I really wish you all the best. I do. And please show us more of this, because these are the moments that the viewers enjoy. But all that, being a mean girl, icing people out, that's not enjoyable to watch. We get enough of that on Potomac. So the group splits up into two. We see Preston, Summer, and Jordan. They're going to brunch. and everybody else is going to be at the gym. Now, I love the gym. I like to work out often. But in this case, when I'm on vacation, I'm going to always pick brunch. But anyhow, as Preston, Summer, and Jordan are going to brunch, they're in the car chatting about Nick, how handsy he gets when he's drunk, how flirty he is. And Preston says it's not cool and it's not fair to his girlfriend Tasia. Preston goes on to say that he straight up told him one day that Nick obviously wants to break up with Tasia because he does not respect her. Well, from what I heard at the party from Nick's friends, it's apparent that him and Tasia are no longer. And at the party, Nick seemed like a single man, okay? So it all makes sense. So they get to the restaurant and now they bring up Shanice's outburst. So Jordan's like, yeah, I wasn't expecting that. It just felt so theatrical. And I'm like, y'all were calling her the worst dresser. You know that this girl just lost her job and doesn't have any money. So are you really surprised that she got that upset? Let's just think about that for a minute. And also, Jordan, as dramatic as you are, I find it comical that you're calling somebody else theatrical. Because the way Jordan was always having an outburst about something all last season. So they change gears and they bring up Alex and Summer and their situationship. And Preston gets straight to it. He says, girl, just tell us right now, how was Alex in bed? So you have Summer saying, oh, well, he was a great kisser. He's a good cuddler. But, you know, it wasn't really all that. So then you see Summer in her confessional saying that she likes to make love, and that's not what it was. The producers asked Alex, how was the sex? He was like, I'm not even going to answer that. But Summer, you going on to say, oh, he's not on the roster, and I'm done with that. Girl, I don't believe you. And if the sex was so bad, why are you having all these outbursts? Why are you so pressed about Alex not inviting you to a party that he's hosting? Why are you mentioning the word love on the yacht? Why are you snapping pictures of him and sending them to Jordan? It's okay, girl. The D was good. You got sprung. And you're pressed that he's gone and doesn't want anything more, and you're in your feelings about it. Because if the sex was not good, you would not be as pressed as you are. You wouldn't be pressed at all. You'd be like, okay, next, and block that number. Now, mind you, it's 2 parallel scenes, so we jump over to everybody else at the gym. They're asking Shanice how does she feel after what went down last night with her storming off crying. And Shanice is like, you know, it's just giving mean girl bully energy. So we find out from Shanice that Summer is jealous of her because when they were in Jamaica, Shanice was telling Summer about all these men who have all this status, that she's dating all of them. She has a full roster. And Summer asked her, oh my gosh, how do you just date all these men? So she feels like Summer's jealous of her because of the men that she dates. Now hold on, Shanice, let me just whack you again.
I'm just scoot on over and let you whack him. Get him again. Get him for me.
Because, Miss Mamas, I'm not buying what you're trying to sell. You're dating all these men with status, but meanwhile, you're on TV crying about how you can't afford a shirt. You're always walking around in bikinis because you don't have any clothes. So I just want to understand, how is anybody jealous of you when you don't have any money? And you're dating men who clearly aren't giving you money or buying you gifts. It's just giving, I'm new to dating and I'm just happy that a man thinks that I'm pretty. And you should be past that phase by like 23, 24, in my humble opinion. If you claim to have all these men of status on your phone, there should be no money problems. Because I'm sorry, sis, but these two things don't go together. You have a phone filled with men who you talk to and date, but yet you're broke and you can't afford to buy an outfit. Something's not right. I'd rather be single with a phone drier than the Sahara Desert before I'm bragging about having all these men on my line, but I'm crying broke and can't pay a bill, can't buy some clothes, can't go out and get a cute drink because money's tight. Then what's the point of having all these men and all these suitors? They're obviously not courting you. They're courting somebody else. So now they get to talking about Alex and Summer, and Noel's like, I missed that completely at the table. They all joke around about how Noel was too busy trying to F up those crab legs. And when I tell you that dinner scene was hilarious because Noel was not paying any attention. Honey, she was fully invested in those crab legs, and I would be too, because you guys know I'm always about the food. And I love seafood. Don't get me started on some crabs and some lobster. What? And some potatoes and asparagus, a little bit of caviar too on the side. Stop playing with me. My mouth is watering as we speak, salivating. But Noelle says that this changes things because when she was talking to Summer, she always told Summer that Alex was her type. So to find out that Alex and Summer weren't just hanging out, they were having sex, now she's just like, I don't know what to do because you're supposed to be my girl. And I understand how Noelle feels because it's like, girl, you could have just told me, like, my God, like, for me to find this out now, you've known that I've liked this guy for quite some time, and now I'm finding this out, like, girl, really? But anyhow, when they get back to the house, Noelle and Summer do have a conversation about it, and I did not like how dismissive Summer was. She was just like, I mean, yeah, it was just convenient. That's all it was. I don't want him. You can have him. And then we see Summer say in her confessional, I don't owe Noelle an explanation just because she wants to get with the man that I had sex with. I was just like, Summer, why are you getting so defensive? All Noelle is saying is, why didn't you just tell me this beforehand? That's all. She's not blaming you. She's not angry. She's just asking, why weren't you more upfront earlier on? That's it. But for you to be in your feelings like, oh yeah, I don't owe you a damn explanation. I say, yeah, you're getting defensive because you still like Alex. And you know in your heart that you don't want Alex and Noelle to hook up because you're going to be upset about it. That's what this is really about. Summer has a nasty attitude. I'm not here for it at all. If there is a reunion, Lord willing, I'm praying that Summer is on the hot seat because 2 episodes in and yeah, I'm just not here for Miss Summer. So now we get to the last scene of the episode and the guys are having a sit down with Nick about how handsy he gets with some of the women in the house. So you have Preston saying, yeah, you got a bit handsy last night. Alex jumps in and he's like, yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say that it's sleazeball, but you do get a bit flirty. So even Amir jumps in and says that your actions are giving F-boy. So Preston shares that when he went out to brunch with Jordan and Summer earlier, they had some thoughts about how handsy Nick gets, and Nick is genuinely shocked at what he's hearing. He says that it's perplexing to hear this because Jordan and Summer have always been very comfortable with him. And I'm going to say Nick is growing on me, so I did feel bad because you can tell that Nick is a nice guy. I mean, I've met him in person. He's very friendly. I don't think that he has any ill intentions or any ulterior motives. When I saw him getting, I guess kind of handsy with Jordan and Summer when they were taking the pictures together, I think it was in the first episode, it just seemed like friends having fun. Again, I wasn't in the house. I'm not going to speak on how Jordan and Summer felt. They're entitled to feel how they feel. But I did feel bad for Nick because I don't think that that was his intention to make them feel uncomfortable. And I think he's of the mindset of if a woman does feel uncomfortable, especially in this house, they would tell me. Because Jordan has always been very vocal about how she feels. We all remember last summer where she snapped about how the men in the house objectify her. She doesn't like it. So I just feel like Nick was kind of taken aback thinking, well, if there was an issue, the women would tell me. I don't think that he was expecting to hear this from the other guys. Nick goes straight to Summer's room. And mind you, Summer is in the bed and Jordan's in the bed with her. So they're laying down sleeping and Nick's like, hey guys, how are you? I just have to ask you, do I ever make you feel uncomfortable? So Jordan says, well, you do get handsy. And then Summer says that. And that's where the episode ends. I have to assume that Jordan and Nick and Summer all figure this out by the next episode and they'll be good again. I doubt we're going to see any lingering tension about Jordan and Summer still talking about this issue with Nick. I have to assume they're good because they seem great at the party. But I will say, so far, I'm loving this season. I think that we are really in for a treat. And I'm excited to see what else we get for the remainder. It looks like in the next episode, they're talking about bringing Bria's friend Phil back in the picture, and Mariah gets brought up. So we might be seeing Mariah spotting, Lord willing, fingers crossed. And yeah, Summer House Martha's Vineyard is giving the girls a cute time. I'm really enjoying it. Noel, I think Noel might end up being the fan favorite for this season. I think that she has all of the energy and the personality and the bubbly spirit to take it to that level. I enjoy Noelle a lot. I think that she's a great addition. I know I said I would give newcomers 5 episodes before I make my decision, but so far so good. I really do enjoy Noelle. But again, that was my recap. Thank you all so much for watching, and you already know what to do. Please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you all later. Bye.